morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show on this Sunday, the 27th of February 2022. You know, you guys, maybe you don't know who the Ghost of Kyiv is. I'll tell you who it is. It's a Ukrainian pilot. It says the nickname was given to an unconfirmed MiG-29 pilot, credited with shooting down 6 Russian planes in the Kiev offensive on the 24th of February 2022. The Ghost of Kyiv. We never had anything like that even in World War II. So 6 planes in one day. We had a few really good aces back in World War II, that are credited with a lot of kills. Anyway, moving on to other topics, well, not really another topic. We want to talk about what's going on with Russia over there. They've put themselves on nuclear standby. I don't think things are going as planned, quite seriously. I think that they planned on just roaring in and raising their flag over Kiev and it would be all over in a day or whatever, Looks like they're getting bogged down. In fact, their offensive is slowing right down. And meanwhile, the Ukrainian people are the citizenry. They're handing out guns. And they're setting up now in a defensive way, but defense can become offense very quickly. You remember how the Americans got bogged down in the Vietnam War? Took a lot of casualties, and I think that's what's happening to the Russians right now. And I don't think the Russian people, the people that live in Russia, are very happy about the idea of heavy casualties. Now, what's happening with the banking system, too, in Russia? Russia is financially going to collapse at this point. They've pulled the SWIFT systems being cut off to them. Their central banks are being forfeited on. They can't access all of those billions of dollars to run their war machine. And suddenly everything's turning sour. So, it kind of reminds me of a kid, There's always one kid out there. You're playing Monopoly. Maybe there's 8 kids playing a game of Monopoly. There's always one kid there who grabs a table and throws pieces all over the ground and throws the money up in the air, and that's the end of the game. Like, they just, what they call sore losers. A little known fact, back in World War II, just like in Kiev today, there's an awful lot of people hiding in the underground systems in Kiev. The subway tunnels, there's an extensive underground network underneath Kiev. And it's offering refuge. Well, in World War II, in Berlin, it was the same way when the Allied forces were coming in. The Germans flooded the tunnels under Berlin with all their own people in there. Little known fact at the very end of the war. And when you get these, let's call it, if you got a government where you have these dictatorial rats in place that are hell-bent on destroying the world, when they don't get their own way, well, they can be like they're cornered. They're not good. It's not good. Not a good situation. Anyway, let's talk about markets a little bit. I checked the pre-markets, and the pre-markets are going up right now. They're in the green. I mean, I honestly think that the Dow Jones could be going up while the mushroom clouds are going up. It could be a rally. That's how ridiculous our world is right now. How upside down everything is from the way it's supposed to be. How come these world leaders, you know, you give them, they're like they're mollycoddled all the way up, and they're just everybody cows to them, you know. Oh, like they're on, you know, they become like little omnipotent gods running around. And you know, the people are too busy making new memes for TikTok. You know, they got their head down in their cell phones. Well, they have their heads down in their cell phone and making a new meme for TikTok while a big mushroom cloud's going off behind them, and then all of a sudden their phone goes out, and they're sitting there tapping the screen. The guy says, "Hey, you know, get down, the shockwave's coming." It's just a minute, I'm trying to make this new meme for TikTok. My phone won't work. Tap, tap, tap on the screen. I mean, it's just, our world has gone sick. And not just sick with viruses. I mean, we've been through a terrible virus. Maybe the damn thing had some effect upon everybody's brains. I just don't know. But we got this terrible situation over there, and it's gonna start to cause volatility in the markets. I can see this being a very volatile week in the markets. And it almost seems like we're all stuck on this planet, and until the people start to wake up. Because, you know, we've lost, there's, like I was talking about on my shows yesterday, there's a big disconnect here. And what we have is we have a bunch of world leaders that have gotten, a lot of them, not all of them, but some of them, or a lot of them, maybe a lot of them, have gone stark raving mad. Maybe it's in the food or in the water, or maybe it's a disease. They're diseased, but and they won't listen to the people. What the people want. The people don't have any voice now in the world. Doesn't matter what country in, because they found a new technique. They basically, if the people protest or whatever, they either ignore them, or they come out and they send the police forces out to arrest them. And they're not listening. I was watching the protests over in Russia, and there people were saying, "No war. We don't want it." Now that they're taking heavy casualties, they're starting to take some pretty good sizable casualties, you know, and the resistance is growing over there, so the things are not going to get better. I wonder what the people of Russia are thinking. I mean, are they willing to take this to the edge? I mean, they're putting their nuclear teams on standby or on alert. I mean, I know Russia's got 6,400 thermonuclear weapons. Well, just think, if somebody come in on your office and your desk table, and they just been to the dollar store, and they bought packages of 100 to a package of stick pins, and they slid a map on your table, a map of Earth, and they bought 100 packs of stick pins for $1 each, you know, or $1.20. It's $1.25 now, by the way. You can't get anything in there for $1. Okay, so $1.25 or $1.50 or whatever they cost, these stick pins. 6,400 would be 64 packs of 100. It'd be a big bag of stick pins. You know, all those multicolored little stick pins. And then they said, well, okay, stick them in the map of the world. So the first 100, you cover all the big cities on Earth. You still have 6,300 more to go. Just stick them in everywhere. After a while, you'd have them on all the medium-sized cities, and then you'd have them on all the small cities, and then you'd have them on all the military installations, and you'd have them, and you'd still probably have a pile of them left. Why on earth did they build so many nuclear warheads? I'm going to tell you something else. Back during the height of the former Soviet Union, they had 45,000. What do they want to do? Completely blow the earth up until there's nothing left of it? But, they're not the only ones. The United States got a lot, too. And, a lot of those nuclear warheads that are being counted, I suppose a lot of them have been sitting around for a long time in the Soviet Union. I don't know how many of them would function. I'm not sure. But I can tell you one thing. I'm betting that the warheads of the West are all pretty damn functional. And they got a hell of a lot of them, too. What's the reason for all this? Do we want to end our species? Is that why we do it? or I say mutual assured destruction. Well, that's all well, fine, and good as a deterrent, as long as they don't use them. All it takes is one madman, and then our species is gone. Our species is gone. Or at least, in the very least, nothing would survive in the northern hemisphere. Well, and maybe a few people would live around the equator for a little while, for a generation or so, one generation maybe. Let's just say 1 or 2 generations until they died off, because they wouldn't be able to procreate anymore because there'd be so much radiation and everything. What in the hell are we thinking? It's stupidity unleashed. And we give all this power to the world leaders. They elect them into position, and then they give them all this complete dictatorial authority over everything. And the people in the end, the people don't have any say on any of it. If they went around and asked the people, give them a ballot, say, do you want to be destroyed in a nuclear holocaust? Yes or no? And they'd all write down on the ballot, no. And they'd hand it in, and then they'd all be doing a computer ballot, and the computer would be set up so that it would turn the no into yes. I mean, this is the kind of system we're living in. It's totally sick. Anyway, markets start tomorrow. I'll be on, guys, and I'll be talking about finance tomorrow. Unless something really big happens with this war that's going on that I need to report on it about. Thank you guys for listening to my show. Thank you to my fans out there. Really appreciate you guys tuning in. And I'm just sick and tired of this war. I myself, I know it's only been going on for a few days, but this is one of the most brutal wars, going all the way back. To find something as brutal as this happening in the world, you have to go all the way back into the 1940s or maybe late 1930s or something, before any of us were even born. We'll catch you guys in the next show. Bye-bye.